third planet in our solar system where life could exist. Mars. The red planet.
Here.
This is gonna be your coming home outfit.
Only child is about to expire.
Come on. I was must stretch. It's okay, baby. You do it, Mom.
You wanna go to Disneyland, baby? You wanna go meet Snow White and Cinderella? Yeah, she stopped crying.
At that time, you don't want to look anything beyond that point because it's getting a little bit too serious. But it's about that point of the pregnancy when we're getting this baby out in the next hour.
2, right?
Yeah, C-O. Good. Happy birthday, beautiful. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, welcome to the world. You're right here with your dad. I know it's bright, huh? Yeah, it's okay. You'll get used to it. Yeah. Well, as you can see, guys, we finally did it. Player 4 is finally here. Dahlia Mars is getting her energy. And because here she comes, world, Dahlia Mars will kick your ass. You did a hell of a job. We're pro level.
Shut your mouth.
Good job, Dea. Good job.
Hey guys, Merry Christmas. And pretty much, I guess we left you guys like on a cliffhanger. But after that, baby was here. We got admitted into our room. We pretty much hung out for actually we took a nap for 3 hours, and then we woke up, and then Danny went to go see Iris.
I was missing my baby too much, so I went home. We fell asleep for like 3-4 hours, and then I got a weird call from Dea.
So pretty much after that, that was just like on a roller coaster from there. Baby was not eating or waking up for feedings anymore, and my mom came to kind of, you know, visit her and meet her, and she threw up all this brown stuff on my mom, and it was pretty scary. So we called the nurse, and the nurses were kind of like, oh, it's fine, like, you know, they were kind of not really paying attention to it. But my mom, she has 5 kids, so she was like, no, this is not normal, there's something going on here. And so we basically kept calling the nurse like every 30 minutes, like, okay, there's something going on with her, she's not eating. And they eventually took her to the nursery, and once they took her, they came back about 3 hours later, and they were like, okay, well, there's definitely something wrong, we're gonna have to transfer her over to another hospital. And at this point, it's so freaking scary, like, I'm like crying my eyes out, and it was just like unreal how traumatic it was.
Talk about that. I was at home with Iris sleeping, and I get all these phone calls, and I was asleep. I didn't hear any of them. And then my grandma comes screaming in the window. They're like, hey, they're calling you about your baby. And as soon as I turn on my phone, it dies. So I called Dea from the computer, from all trusty laptop, and then she's like, you need to come over here because something about the baby. Guys, driving in traffic in LA and then knowing you have to rush to the fucking hospital to go see your baby to see what the fuck is wrong with it is fucking nerve-wracking. Everybody's driving so fucking slow. There's traffic everywhere. People are walking. Oh my god. Anyway.
Well, not to mention it's like the week before Christmas too, so it was just like all over the place, and I felt so helpless because I couldn't leave the hospital. I mean, I'm pretty sure like I could probably get up and leave, but they weren't gonna release me until my doctor came to see me, which was gonna be till the next day. So I was basically had just given birth, and then right after I gave birth, I fed her, and then she got sick. She wasn't eating. She wasn't holding any milk down. And then she was going to basically get transferred into another hospital, and I wasn't gonna be able to be there to see what was going on with her, you know. So that was so scary because I've never been away from Iris, and then I just barely give birth to this baby, and I'm having like my bonding time with her, and she gets taken away from me. So it was extremely scary. Like, I don't think I've cried that much ever in my life. So I cried so much. And then the worst part is that once they did take her, Danny had to leave with her because, I mean, obviously we're not going to let her go be by herself. And so he was going to leave me, and I was just going to get stuck in the hospital by myself. And my mom couldn't come because my mom had to stay with Iris. So it was so scary. It was just the scariest thing ever. So
yeah, when I got to the hospital over there, she was just hooked up to this like incubator, and she had like tubes and wires and everything all over her. And I mean, here's some pictures of it. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it on Instagram or on Facebook if you guys follow Dea. But here's some pictures of it. It's just the saddest thing. And then me and Dea's mom rushed over to the next hospital, White Memorial, and she dropped me off there. And I just went straight up to her room, and I sat there, and she cried for like 2 hours while they were like poking and prodding her, taking blood samples, like giving her shots of who the fuck knows what. They're just poking. She just cried for 2 hours. I was like, wow, this little girl's the toughest baby. She just hasn't been born 24 hours, and here she is already like getting shots and everything on her, tubes down her throat. And I was like, wow, you are my new hero. You know, you're a tough baby. I sat there with her for the next
8 hours,
like
maybe?
12 hours.
Yeah.
I sat there with her, and just making sure she was breathing the whole time. I didn't even sleep until the nurses kicked me out because I guess I started dozing off and I was snoring, and they're like, you can't be snoring. So they made me wait in the waiting room, and then they kicked me out of there because it started business hours, and they're like, you can't sleep here. And they hooked us up with a pretty nice room, huh?
Yeah, they gave us like a parent suite. And so the next day, my doctor came into the room, and, you know, he seen me, and obviously I hadn't slept. And I mean, I gave birth, like literally, it's just so crazy because your body goes through so much, and you're physically so tired, but I could not sleep. So he comes into the room in the morning, you know, to say good morning and how's everything going. And I'm just crying, and I'm just telling him, please let me go home, please let me go home. And then he was really worried about me. Like, he thought that like if I left, I was gonna like stress myself, and it was gonna affect my milk supply, and it was gonna affect like my whole healing process and everything. And so he's like, I really don't want you to leave. Like, I want you to stay here so that, you know, the nurses can take care of you, and you don't have to be standing up or anything. Like, you just basically be on bed rest for the next 24 hours. And I started begging him, and I was like, please, please let me go home. I gotta go. And so he basically, I go and I rush over to the hospital. I get there, and baby's hooked up to all these things, like he said. The next 3 days and nights are spent. Every 2 hours I have to go over there and breastfeed the baby. Luckily, she latched on perfectly, and she started to keep food down. And so she basically...
We were just waiting for her to poop.
Yeah, we were just waiting for her to poop. And since she was keeping food down, they took out one IV, and then the next day they took out the other IV.
So they took out her IVs, no more wires. Someone is coming home today.
How you feel? Yeah? Tell him, we got you already. Super baby out. Yeah, tell him, let's go. It's a cool place, but I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. And it's official. We are leaving the hospital. There's Dad. He's ready to go. There's baby too, ready to go too.
And I mean, she's so strong. Like, she basically just like overcame everything within a few days. That breast milk, guys. That milk of the gods. Yeah.
And now, guess what, Mom? We don't have to worry about anything. It's Christmas, and our little Christmas baby sitting right here underneath the Christmas tree. Look at her. She's so beautiful, guys. Look at that. Oh.
Here.
And those are our stockings right there. Dad's, Mom's, Iris, and little Mars. Well, thank you guys for hanging on, and hope you guys enjoyed the cliffhanger, because we didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Here's a clip of how our Christmas went.
Over here.
Look at my girls. Look at my beautiful girls. Oh my god.